Hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Michael, I like wizards and dragons and making games, welcome back to Bullet Hell. So I've come to like the particle effects that were added last time. I think that they help sell the effect that something's actually happening in the game. Generally a good thing when it comes to making video games. And today I'm going to get to work on creating some sort of progression / upgrade system for the player, so that the player has the ability to get rewards for doing well in levels beyond just clearing them, and use those as sort of a currency for enabling upgrades later in the game that will make future levels easier. And earlier in the past like 30 weeks of the series, I've been referring to that potential upcoming system as collectibles. I think I'm going to steer away from the collectible idea and just go with like a gold star for clearing levels for doing certain things. I'm thinking of giving you stars for performing well at certain tasks, such as finishing levels without taking any damage, or finishing levels under a certain amount of time. Let's say if you can finish a level under 2 minutes, then you'll get a star, which should be easier in the earlier levels because the enemies have less HP and don't really fight back, and more difficult in the later ones. And then you can use those stars as a currency to purchase upgrades. And if there are 3 such criteria for each level, there are 12 levels in the game, you can get up to 36 gold stars. I believe I've got 5 different types of upgrades, and if there are, for example, 3 levels of upgrade, and I've only really implemented 2 of them, but if you can upgrade each criteria or each category 3 times, let's say the first level takes 1 star to upgrade, the second level takes 2 stars to upgrade, the third level takes 3 stars to upgrade. That's 6 stars in total that you'll need per category, and if there are 5 categories, that'll be 30, like 30 points, 30 stars, whatever, that you'll need to upgrade everything fully, which should allow you to, get most of the way towards upgrading everything by the end of the game. If you go like completionist and make sure to get 3 stars on every level before moving on to the next one, you will be able to max out everything a little bit before the final boss after just 10 levels, and it's not too complicated, and that should work out decently well. So firstly, I'm going to need to do a little bit of refactoring. So in order to, let's say, in order to keep track of various different types of level clear data, right now we're keeping track of the high score for each level, and it's done in a little bit of a messy way. So we have a variable in the player save data called high scores, which contains a struct for mapping basically rooms onto high score values. And when we load that struct data out of the save file, it's a little bit messy. When we do things such as, I had it up before I started the video, show windscreen here. When we do things such as check the current high score against the stored high score, we can check the active save data.high score, look up the current map in that level, and compare the 2 high score values. There's 2 things we could do. One is that we could duplicate this table, and we could have a high score table, and we could have a table storing the levels that you finished without taking damage, and so on and so forth. We could also convert the high score table into a single struct that is going to contain information on various attributes of the level, such as whether you've cleared it without taking damage. The quote-unquote correct way to do that would be the latter, so instead of just tracking high scores, to track something like clear data, and let's update the name of all these variables here, and we could also check if, for example, is struct the save data is clear data, and if it is a struct, then we can load the high score for each level, and the true or false have you cleared a level without taking damage, and so on and so forth like that. I think I'm going to, at the very least, abstract this a little bit further, so we could say self.clear data is going to be a function, and it's going to be a constructor, and this can just be self.high score is going to equal let's say 0, initialize it to 0, clear without damage is going to be false, clear under time is going to be false. I guess if you wanted to, You could also track the, like, just a true or false for have you cleared this level at all, although it's not really going to play into progression or anything like that because the save data already tracks just the, like, the highest level cleared, which is really doing that anyway. And then later on, should I want to you know, add another level clear attribute to the clear data, I can just tack it on like this. And all of my methods in this game have been dubbed to be static, haven't they? You could make a method, or you could make a private, like an inner class constructor, just a self dot variable. But the difference between the two is slight, and in the name of making all of my code look the same for legibility purposes, because it's really going to have minimal performance impact here, I'm going to just make all of my my methods static when it comes to structs. Let's see. Self.clear data index keys I. When we load the player save, we're going to say this is going to be a new clear data, and you can still access static methods with self dot. It's just like declaring them like this where it really makes the difference. And then I suppose because I really like having like dot load methods. If the incoming clear data from the save file is a struct as intended, we can say self.clearData keys index I.load like this. And then we can load in the highest score. We can load in true or false cleared. Can load in cleared without damage. I don't remember if when you serialize a boolean now to JSON with like JSON encode or JSON stringify, if true or false booleans are actually serialized as booleans or if they're still serialized as numbers. I'm gonna have to check that because that will be important here. Anyway, we are going to reformat the loading of the clear data like this. We can also, in other places where the high underscore score variable is referenced, we can update references to that. So these 3 lines of code here, clear data is going to be this value. If the clear data is undefined, then we're going to want to define it like this, or I suppose we're going to want to define it like that, and then we can check the high score. So clear data.high score. Like this. Or if you like, I suppose, because this is also allowed, okay. And I'll come back to this. So when I deal with things like clear without damage, clear under time, setting those values and updating those values, I'll come back to this. I'm gonna have to remember to come back to, well, obviously show windscreen here. This is where like the end of level code happens. And maybe as this show windscreen method gets bigger, I should probably think about like code organization and think about like putting this in a separate like end of level method or something like that. But it's not that big that I think that that's like an emergency bit of code maintenance that needs to happen at the immediate moment. Good chance that by the end of the game, I'll have done a couple like bug fixing and refactoring and general cleanup episodes. One or two videos on just making my code suck less. And good chance that I'll do it then, but that is not a task for today. Let's see, where else do I need to go? Room initialization. This is the get text method of the high score button in the game. Clear data like this. And we can say if level clear data is not undefined, then the value that will show is going to be what is that? The high score. I guess if it's 0, as in if you've got level clear data but you've got 0 score somehow, you might also want to show a dash 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 there, or you might just want to show 0. I kind of like the idea of dash dash dash, but don't know if that'll be confusing or not. So that should be all that I need to change, because I don't think the high score code has been touched anywhere else. If I run the game now and if I clear a level, everything should be working without issue. We do see that I do not have a high score saved for this level yet, and that is because the format of the save file changed, and high scores are basically not being loaded in from previous versions because the save format has changed. And I will finish this level, and I will get to the win screen, and hopefully nothing bad will happen, and we will have high scores behaving as they're supposed to. Alright, wave 5 in the first level is a little bit far back. I feel like I'd like that back row to come about maybe one row forward or so. I can fix that in a minute. First, I have more pressing matters, which is that I would like to test the new save structure to make sure that it's doing what it should be. Okay. This is one of those cases where if I'd thought of how I wanted the save structure to work before I wrote the save system the first time, I could have just written it that way. I see the high score updated. If I were to back to the menu, if I were to rerun the game, if I thought of how I wanted this progression system to work the first time, I could have just written it that way and saved me some trouble. The high score has been preserved. That's good. If I were to, well, I meant to quit the title, but if I were to go into another level, then they wouldn't be like that. But no matter. That only took me about 15 minutes, I think, to rewrite and to test it. Let's see. So level 1, I would like wave 5. Game maker, I would like wave 5 to come forward one row, and I'm gonna run the game just to make sure that looks good. And all right, that's fine. They're still a little back, but at least yeah, I'm taking damage here, aren't I? They're still a little bit back, but at least they're not like their back legs aren't falling off the screen. Okay. Let's get out of there. This is the initialization room. I don't think I need to make any other changes there. Let's start making commits. So, oh right, I'm on a new beta now. I have still yet to update to 2022.8 on my stable version because there's something I'm doing that I don't want to mess with on 2022.6. But this project is running on the betas because I like to live on the edge. All right. As per tradition, updated game maker. There's going to be one instance of moving everything in a room back. What was this level? Level 1, wave 5, and this last one is going to be refactoring high score data just a little bit. I don't know if this will be out by the time I post this video, but certain Pixelated Pope has begun, or at least is planning for one of his own, like, Let's Make a Game, like, series. And he's actually going out of his way to, like, draw attention to when he's committing changes to GitHub, because he wants to, like, impress upon people that that is a thing that you should do. And I've usually been editing out my commit messages because I think it just adds time to the video and I want to make these a little bit less long. And I've considering drawing a little bit more attention to doing that because I would like to encourage people to, well, one, use source control, and two, not just like commit a massive dump of multiple changes all at once at the end of the day or whatever. Because that's definitely better than nothing to do that, but it's also like, it doesn't really help you if you want to, if something breaks and if you want to go back and try and find the exact point at which something broke. Anyway. Let's see. So we've also got, what did I say? We've got to track if the player is able to like clear a level without taking damage, right? There is a level metadata. There's a level metadata class. There is a general like level.stats. Okay, this is where everything is. Damage taken. As it turns out, we're already tracking how much damage we've taken in a game. I want to say that's already been, okay, so that damage taken does plus or plus equals like the bullet damage amount or whatever when you here it is, when you take damage, when the player takes damage from a bullet. And if we want to keep track of clear data dot, actually let me back up a little bit. So we can, let's say var cleared without damage is going to be equal to self.level.stats.damage taken equals 0. So if this value is 0, that means you haven't taken any damage. Pretty simple. And I think on the U win screen, I'd eventually like to show that information. So I'd like to show these stars or whatever. Or trophies or stars or whatever you want to call them when that happens. So I will say this to a local variable like that. Is there also a clear time? There should be like a level timer like this. All right, so the level.game timer is pretty simple. And it's only displayed on the UI currently, and it's only like updated here in this one place, so that's good. So we can say var cleared under time is going to be self.level.game timer is less than, let's say less than or equal to, if we say 90 seconds, how brutal is that going to be? Obviously, upgrading your player, upgrading your your damage amount and that sort of thing is going to allow you to plow through levels more quickly. And where it might take me 3 minutes to defeat the final boss now at my current power level, defeating the final boss in less than a minute and a half, or maybe a minute 45, which would be 105. I think I'll go with a minute 45 for now. It might be a much more reasonable ask. And then I'm still not sure about what a third criteria could be. I think I said this at the beginning. The third star that you get for finishing a level could just be for finishing it the first time. So in a the first one's free sort of system. So if you clear a level at all, you get 1 star and you can spend that star on upgrades. Or if I want to be a little more selective, maybe if you are able to rack up a certain amount of score in a level. That threshold being determined later when I really dig into balance and stuff. That could be a third one, which is another stat that's already tracked and I won't have to do anything extra for. But for now, we'll just go with these. Let's say clear data. If, let's say, cleared without damage, clear data dot clear. And I've already forgotten. It is clear without damage, right? Yes. Set that to true. And then the next one is going to be clear under time. I'm going to try and keep the verb tenses from getting muddled here. And we can also update those. All right. New commit. Oh, this was really, really very simple. Update level clear data. Update other level clear data. There's also the matter of keeping track of the cumulative number of points the player has. Whether you call them points or gold stars or currency or whatever, it's kind of immaterial what I call them. The name can be changed later, but I'm just going to keep track of, let's say, self.currency equals 0, and I'm also going to keep track of self.total currency equals 0. So the total currency will be the number that you have. If you want to respec, currency will be set equal to total currency, and when you buy an upgrade, currency will be reduced while total currency will not. I will also need to update those if these values have changed. So we can modify this to if not clear data.clear without damage, and this self.active save data.currency plus currency plus and total currency plus like this. And the same thing can be true. Why? Oh, those are full colons, not semicolons. I'm just gonna say, why don't you like that statement? That's a peculiar statement to take issue with. We can also increment the currency values if you have not yet cleared under time. All right. Let's see. I'm going to need to save and load those from the save data. Saving is easy enough because when you save, when the data is saved, this entire structure is just JSON stringified, and that's just a sort of one and done deal. And then when you load it, everything is linked up the way that it should be with the load method and all that. So we're going to need to validate and load the total level cleared. The total currency value. And for now, when this happens, clear data clear under time is or clear period is going to be set to true. And there's not much to that now. If I do decide to make this a third gold star, I will reformat it to make it look like this. I kind of doubt it. I'm kind of in my head leaning towards giving you a star for finishing the level with a certain amount of score. And remember, that's also going to play into finishing the level quickly because your score multiplier does go up. And it does, well, that is to say your score multiplier goes down if you take your time. But I'll take care of that later. I will deal with these other things first. I think I will create next the upgrade menu and that sort of thing. And I'll, at the end of the video, or maybe at the beginning of the next one, probably at the end of this one, I will implement the third criteria, whatever that ends up being. Player gets currency for clearing levels in special ways. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the initialization room. This is where we set up all the UI. I will be wanting the title UI. I will be wanting specifically a potential upgrades menu, collectibles. I'm gonna hide that. Yeah. Level select, I'll mess with that further. Delete save, we don't want. Quit, don't want. Save select, don't want. Didn't mean to lock that. The title menu. Alright, so I think maybe in the level select, what is this button here? This is going to be a button to the upgrades menu. If I were to duplicate this, this is going to be I guess I call them stars. Is there anything insect related that I can think of in the next 10 seconds to make this, to make the currency? No. I'll just call them stars. And to be honest, if you want to save on having to translate anything, because I did make a point that I want that to be part of this game's one of the features of this game before I finish is to have it translated into at least some other language. Just actually literally drawing a star symbol here instead of the word stars. Will make that slightly easier. Anyway, in the creation code, that's on click. Oh, you know what this should be? This should be a UI text. Whereas graphical stuff, user interface stuff, UI text. So what this should be. And we're going to need a get text, aren't we? This is going to need to be wrapped in the localization function with the escape character, and the number in question can be game controller dot active save data dot currency. And let's see, if I were to run the game now, right off the bat, this one shouldn't crash. Okay, I have 0 stars. Should have gotten, I think, one of them the last time, because I did defeat the level without taking damage, but that was before such code existed, so I will have to do this again, and I will have to defeat the level again without taking damage, and preferably under a minute 45. So let me get on my way and start doing that. Alright. It actually took me a few tries to do that without taking damage, but if I were to go back to the main menu, I do indeed have 1 star. Did not finish it under a minute 45, but that's alright. If you can't get all 3 stars in one shot on the first try, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having, like, the player to have to upgrade some stuff and then go back before they can do, like, 100% completion on a level. I'm definitely okay with making this game a little bit harder than the first game that I made, Bombardier. So let's commit this. This is going to be... So I don't want to commit the changes to just like the room layer visibility, because that's really just so that I can make edits. But this is going to be... Oh, you know what? Before I do this, I should also add this to the, copy this button and add it to the upgrades menu. So if you were to have, say, 5 upgrades arranged in here, probably I'll have a respec button also. Let's see. Creation code. The get text can be, maybe instead of having another text label, in here, this title up here. What is this? This is upgrades. So we can say this number of stars or points are... Would that look weird? Would that look weird to have this just in the title of this this menu? All right, for one, this needs to be one stars, plural, is always a little bit of a funny thing to read in English. All right, and if you have none available, then it'll obviously say 0 star, open parentheses S, close parentheses available. Let's see, this is the back button, is it not? What if I were to... That's not what I meant to copy and paste. What if I were to add a respec button? Do I have like an undo icon? If I filter the asset browser by sprites, do we have an undo icon? There is not. Alright, this can then be... That can just say respec, and I guess for what it's worth, since I don't have any like mouse over text set up for real, there's a couple places where I've made like hacky versions of mouse over, but just having an icon just having like an undo icon with without any further explanation might be a little bit like not clear about what it does. So respec is going to do something when you click it. Let's say added a stars label to the main menu UI. I think I'll Alright, I was gonna say I might... Alright, I'll commit that first, and then I'll commit... Oh, you know what? I don't know if I can just disable that like that, because the changes to the... Like the stars icon on the level select is also saved in here. So I will need to commit that as well, the whole thing. Alright, anyway, the respec button. This is going to be a simple matter of... Let's see, I should be able to go into something like player save data. Oh, you know what's not saved yet, I don't think? Is the actual, like, the actual upgrades data. Upgrade data over here. I'm gonna have to save this as well. And there's a part of me that wants to do another round of refactoring and put the upgrades data in player save data. How much trouble would that be right now? That would be a little trouble. Alright, I won't refactor it, but I also won't deal with it now. Let's add a method that says respec. And this can just set all of our upgradable parameters to 0. Like that. And let's say we can also have a respec method in the player save data. Like that. And when you click on this button, what was it? Game controller dot this dot respec. And this won't do anything now, but all it's doing is shuffling a few variables around, so it shouldn't like really shouldn't have a problem. And it does. Alright, that is awesome. Active save data.respec is not set before reading it. Oh, respect. Yeah, very funny. It respec is in like to spec, to give something specifications, specs, you know, like computer specs, and re isn't to like do it again. Alright. Generally worth running your code before committing it. Next, we would like to... Can I cross anything off on Hack and Plan, by the way? Not really. This is... And probably at the end of this video, I'll just shove all these in the completed pile anyway, even if they're not exactly what it ended up looking like. But these are assuming that the collectibles are going to be more like physical objects rather than intangible, just like an intangible currency stat. And the same for here. This is really going to be like squished together, I think. And I might just delete the collectibles menu and collectibles button from the UI later on. But we'll get to that when we get to that. More importantly, I'm going to want a few things. So let's add a text label that's going to say something like Where are my text labels? I still only have sprites visible in the asset browser. I'm going to have a text label for each of the, you know, these things. So one of them is going to be the recharge rate. Game Maker, there we go. One of them is going to be the recharge rate. And let's say that we can have a text label. We can also have the current rank of that of each parameter here. This is going to be upgrades.special recharge rate. And then there'll be an upgrade button next to it. And probably when you do mouse over it, I'll also have something that shows just a little bit of text over on the side explaining exactly how it works, or shows text below it explaining how it works, something like that. All right, making everything the same size as everything else. Let me lay out the buttons first. I'm going to need 4 more. 3, 4, and 5. And there's also the special charge level. So the max charge level. Do I like having 2 colons in the same text layout? And in the same like text? Not really. Special charge level. All right, let's get rid of the second colon in this one as well. And there's going to be the burning. Should I say like level 1, level 2, level whatever in here, just in case there's confusion as to whether or not like what this value is? Probably. Or call it rank or something anyway. So we can say special recharge rate rank 0, special max charge level rank whatever. All right, and then damage, the damage buff. Can be just the general damage buff, like this. And the posthumous recovery time. I love saying that out loud. The source text in the variable definition doesn't really matter, because it's set in the like in here anyway, in the getText method, because it needs to change. But all right, so first let's see how this looks, and then if it looks all right, if it isn't showing like an error message or anything like that. All right, some of them are a little wide, which is something I maybe should have seen coming. Not really happy about that, but probably shouldn't come as a surprise. And I'll also have an upgrade button next to each of them. Maybe something like this size. And I'll implement the onClick once everything is laid out. All right, let's see how this looks. I don't think this should be a problem. I do have somewhere... Oh, you know what I should probably do is, if it's not going to be collectibles, I should probably just have, like, a list of which stars you have, like, a list of which achievements you have. And I guess, speaking of achievements, that would tie into this. I don't know if I want to do achievements in this game. That would be probably another 2 videos or so. At least 1, probably 2, because that might be a little bit much setting it up and everything. But just showing which things that you've done, which level clear things you've done, so finishing without taking damage and that kind of thing. And I should show that on this screen. But otherwise, this looks fine. All right, so buttons do nothing. Down here in the bottom is where I think I'll put a little bit of extra info text. All right, level, what was this? Upgrade menu layout. And when you click upgrade, something should happen. Let's see. We're going to want to switch the upgrades dot, for example, the special recharge rate value. So case 0, break. Case 1, break. Case 2, break. And I'm also going to, I think, want it to be grayed out if you're already at rank 2. If you're already at rank 3, rather. Let's see. So this can be game controller dot active save data dot currency minus minus. So again, upgrading from rank 0 to 1 is going to be 1. From rank 1 to 2 is going to be 2, and from rank 2 to 3 it's going to be 3. Get text is going to be equal to, and I've also made up my mind that the next time I do a Let's Make a Game, I'm going to, in addition to doing an episode 0 laying out my plans, I'm also going to go over the code style that I'm trying to enforce in that video, because in keeping my code style in line with everything else, it really should be self.getText, but apparently I didn't set it up like that elsewhere. If game controller dot, if upgrades dot special recharge rate is equal to 3, self.enabled is going to be equal to if the special recharge rate is less than 3. Okay. So we're not yet checking if I have enough currency to actually do these things. All right, that did not go up. Oh, you know what? That's because I need to actually increment that value there. Let's see. Why burn damage rank is like that. That button is. That should be charge level. This should be burn damage, which it is not. And let me check the other two. So this is going to be just the damage buff, and this is going to be... Pretty sure I updated this one because it had a funny name, and I remember that. Alright. Let's see. So, because this is going to start to be a little bit much to copy and paste in every single one of these buttons, and it'll be even worse if I want to add more upgrades later, if I want to do like a post-launch update with more things that you can upgrade. I'm probably going to generalize this once I'm done with this one. I'm probably going to... like subclass the UI button object and then make a general form for that, so that all I have to do is like I can treat it as a template. But first, self.enabled is going to also be, hang on, wait. Let's set this to true. It's a true. Then we can say if if the upgrade rank is 3, then self-enabled is false. Oh wait, even better. We can again switch the rank, and then case 1, if your currency value is less than 1, self-enabled is false. If your currency value is less than 2, self-enabled is false. And lastly, like this. So first we'll assume that the button is enabled, and then we can prove otherwise. And of case 3, so if your rank is 3, then you can't upgrade that further regardless, right? All right. Is it not dot enabled? Is it, did I call the variable something else that controls whether or not? It should be dot enabled. And it should be grayed out if it's not enabled. Why is that? All right, not the part that I expected to have to debug. Is buttons get text not running? Oh, it's update. It's called update for button. It's not get text. All right. A little bit of uniformity probably wouldn't hurt. If I had called it something like update in all of my UI object types, probably would have been better. Oh. Oh my god. Why am I dumb? Why is this? Why is the source text self.text equals? All right. That's something I'm gonna have to do elsewhere, I think. Gonna have to do some further testing to make sure that that's all working as intended. All right. And the other ones don't have that implemented yet. Anyway, this is working as it's supposed to. Respec, the respec button does indeed work. Okay. So, let's see. I think before I commit this, let me UI button skill upgrade. And I can do a little bit of work towards making this a general solution. So if I were to open up UI skill upgrade, my update method can be something. Oh, there was also an onHover method. That's nice. Yeah, okay. So the default update method is to set the self.text equals source text like that. I can get rid of the show debug message now. Firstly, if I were to make all of these buttons an instance of UI button skill upgrade, then I don't think I think I missed that one. Then they should all look and behave exactly the same by default. And I will parameterize the upgrade value that changes. Okay. Let's see, the variable definition, source text can be upgrade like that. And I will also add another variable definition that is the value, the name of the value over here. And this I used to hate writing code like this. if I were to make this a string instead, we can switch upgrades instead of saying upgrades dot the property name, we can just use the struct accessor like this. And I used to hate treating variables as like just such flexible objects such as this, but since GameMaker allows it, even if I'm not a huge fan of it, and it will make my job easier, and unless you misspell it, it won't go catastrophically wrong in any way, so I'm going to do it. And then I can just update the name of all of the properties that I want to update. Variables, special charge level, special recharge rate, special fire. For the third one, the damage buff for the fourth one. And the posthumous recovery time over here for the fifth one. And that should allow everything to work. The upgrade menu should be functional. Let's see, I can upgrade that one. Everything else is grayed out. If I respec, that did not appear to do anything. Okay, so we're not there yet. If I were to edit on click, and if I were to print out the value of the name of the thing to upgrade and also the thing itself. Why? There should be... I'm confused. Hang on a minute. So firstly, UI button skill upgrade should derive from UI button. And that will allow me to get rid of some of this nonsense up here. Starting from the event inherited. You I know. Oh, right, yeah. That would cause some of the problems. You I know already have all that junk in there. But all of the others should be just executing that. If I were to say variable struct exists, which is kind of taking it back a step. Okay, that worked. The other ones did not. Variable struct exists, upgrade self.property. No, stop. Yes, I know. The punctuation's in the wrong place. Now if I click over here, we're still having draw failed due to invalid input layout. Alright, let me stop having that error message. Oh, you know what? I know what's going wrong, and this is the dumbest thing. All of these buttons still have creation code for their onClick method. And that is overwriting anything that was actually happening in said onClick method. And that would explain why their get text was working, but their onClick was not, which is arguably the important part. Yeah. Or their update, anyway, why the update was working. Alright. So that works. I can respec, I can upgrade another one, and it's gonna work. I guess I'll test them all. Alright, they all work. You can go away, and we can say skill upgrade button. Okay, so the skill upgrade button has been implemented, and I would like a tooltip of sorts. And as I said, we've got sort of a tooltip, but it's not like a very good one. If I were to add a text region here, and grid snapping, my old enemy, we can add a text region here. This text region can say, well, we'll name this. So this is going to be inst upgrade description. And when we mouse over each of these, the all right, on hover fires whenever your mouse is over one of these things. So we can say on hover is going to be a function, and we can set the inst upgrade description.text to something, and that something can be the first one was recharge rate, right? Yeah, the first one was recharge rate, so the localize function your sub-weapon will recharge faster, or a sub-weapon or a secondary attack. I think I've been calling it your secondary attack will recharge faster. Next, I suppose while I'm here, your original name, your original text can be move your cursor over an upgrade to see more information. And with that in mind, do regular text objects have an onHover method? We do not. Okay. I can, however, enable that. We don't have an enabled property either. And we can implement an onHover for a text as well, fairly easily. Okay. Game Maker, are you gonna let me click on it? Oh, I see. The editor is getting in the way of itself again. Inst. What was it? Inst upgrade description is going to be what I just said. And then now I can go and copy this to all the other ones. In case I don't think I explained why I suddenly changed course and went from having the buttons have an onHover method that shows this text box to having the text labels themselves, but since the text in here said to move your cursor over an upgrade to see more information, I decided it would be weird to have you instead move your cursor over the upgrade button. And the two options there are to either actually code it so that you can mouse over the text label and have information be shown, or change the description down here, and I decided to go with the former. If nothing else, I think it is more likely that people would expect to be able to mouse over the description over the name rather than over the upgrade button. And it seems that we're not actually doing anything here. Why is that? We are... You're not having your text itself overridden. Oh, that would be yeah, I see. It is actually being overridden, so I'm gonna want get text to be an empty function. This may run into the issue that there is no resetting. Yeah, there is no resetting this if either you stop mousing over something, or if you go back into the menu elsewhere and return, we'll still have that text. Or if you were to go into a level and clear the level and come back, you'll still have that text. And I feel like you should be. Alright, this I like less than extending the button skill upgrade button, but if we set the text to an empty string, that is going to give us the source text. Otherwise, it'll be left alone. The text value is set to an empty string after it's drawn every time. And that should allow us to not have to do that. And if I were to change your type to that, then our button will return to its original state when you stop mousing over it. Alright, that's good. Let's see. I feel like automatic text wrapping would be nice. Just in general. So I think at the very least for this text button I will do that. So draw text extended. The separation can be -1. The width can be sprite width minus, let's say, 32. At which point the text will wrap. That's just a change that would be good to have in general in this UI system, so that I don't have to manually insert line breaks all over the place. That may or may not prove to be an issue when it comes to translating things. I might also want to propagate that change back up to the base button class, or the base text label class, but we'll get there when we get there. Alright, this is going to need to be 2 commits, because I really did 2 things here. So I can say I added a UI text mouse over. Why did you add like a ghost version of UI button.yy to the whatever? Get rid of that. I don't know why GameMaker does that. You can delete those ghost files without consequence, but it's annoying when it actually does. We can add that record of the button, and that is just a special version of that button type, which will have its source text be reset if the source text is not updated on the same frame. And then, of course, we have summaries of upgrades. Let's see. I can definitely check off player upgrades. I guess I might as well say that I finished that. Oh, that was, like, additional. I'm not being extremely vigilant about, wait, GameMaker. Edit that. About, like, actually logging the exact amount of work, because this point system is very hand-wavy anyway. I'm not tracking, like, the number of minutes I'm spending on things. And in general, I think it would be good to just say that, like, this is, like, it's done when it's done, you know? Anyway, collectible is displayed menu. End of all rewards, we sort of have. Alright, even if they're not going to be named, I can say that's functionally done. Having collectibles displayed in the menu, I like in the collectibles menu over here, and I will rename it. Okay, so it's actually not referenced anywhere else in code. UI title clear data. From the level select screen, we can say this is a variable definition and it is called clear data. Is it? Should be. Alright, take longer than it should have to find find the part of the code where that change was done. But let us hide that. Let us... And now that I've started doing this, I think I might do it more, but to subclass the different buttons again. Oh, you know what? This is just going to be a text. This isn't going to be a button. UI text level clear data. And UI text level clear data needs to extend from UI text. For that matter, so does this. Alright, I guess it already does. I don't remember doing that. But UI level clear data can just be a regular text label. And the get text is going to be... let's see, we'll have a level corresponding to it. I guess this will just be like a room. We can call this rm underscore level. And the asset type can be that. Default, it can default to, oh really? I always forget that it doesn't work like that. Like you can't drag something from the asset browser into the variable definition inspector. And it's really annoying. I could have sworn you used to be able to. Anyway, text can be, let's see, if... We'll need to go into the player save data a little bit, but you know what might be nice? We have a get clear data method for the save data, and this just goes straight and returns self.clearData, like room name or whatever. And as you may remember, we do that in a few places. And it might just be a little bit nice to have to do a little bit less of it. That's just an abstraction, to use a fancy computer science word. And now we can just say get clear data without having to remember and or worry about how exactly it's implemented in there. So, in the UI text level clear data, we can say var clear data is going to be game controller.active. What was it? Active save data? Yeah, active save data dot get clear data self dot room level, and then if clear data equals undefined, else. So if the clear data is undefined, if you haven't cleared the level yet, self dot text is going to be equal to an empty string. The text will just say nothing. Actually, will it? The text will probably say the level's name, but first, the text will say, and I need to be brief but descriptive about what each of these things are. No damage question mark, %0, and then a line break, and then fast clear, and then %1, and then another line break, and then third criteria, third star, and then %2, and then the first one can be clear data dot, what was it? Clear without damage. The second one can be clear data dot clear under time. And the third one can just be, for now, just a false. And I'm going to put this in multiple lines because it's long. I'll make this into like yeses and nos later. Let's just see if this fits. And we don't yet actually have those in here yet. All right. I'm going to link up all these. I'm going to assign each of the buttons their respective rooms. Okay. Hopefully that is that. And assuming that I did not mess any of them up. Clear data. Okay, so it all fits in the box, which is good. If I need to... Oh, I should also update... If I need to, I will make this a little bit wider. And I have a feeling that I will need to, because I have a feeling making all of these, like, all of these criteria, this short strings for any language that you might try to translate to is not going to be realistic. So if I were to drag you out 1, 2, 3, needs to be multiple 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then make each of these labels 3 wider. Then, okay, cool. I can do this in as a batch operation. There will be more space for the text, which is generally understood to be a good thing. And hopefully we'll feel a little bit less crowded. I'll also need a like the level name. So this can start with room get name. Actually, wait. Start with %0 / no damage %1. So the room name, like the level name, is going to be the first one. Can be room get name for now, self dot room level. Oh, are they not escaped properly? Hang on. L, does that have to be an array or? Okay, args has to be an array. It can't just be extra, like, additional arguments. Has to be an argument array. Okay, so room level 1, like, the names of the rooms will eventually need to be translated. I want to say... And this video is going on long, and I guess I might as well... It doesn't hurt to make it longer. Since any hope of making it, like, 30 minutes is already long gone. But... I want to say the room names are already, like, written down somewhere in the game controller, and I guess I could just plug those in here. Probably need to translate it as well. But anyway, this can turn into a conditional operator, L, yes, colon, L, no. Yes, I know that that's unreachable code, Feather. I'm glad that Feather is able to, like, discern this, but I think I know that already, and it will not be like that forever. Alright, so we now have yeses and nos. Alright, so if this is undefined, we can say self.text is going to equal just, like, %0 and then, like, not yet cleared or something. And there's no need to make this long and fancy and broken up over multiple lines or anything. Okay. Oh, you know what? And I'll come back to this too. But when a level is locked, it probably should only say, like, its name, like level 1, level 2, whatever. It shouldn't say it's a... it shouldn't say its actual level name. I will try to remember to deal with that by the end of the video. First, level clear data is shown in the level select. Should that be more than one commit? Maybe. I'm starting to get tired. Can I check anything else off? Alright, again, no longer called collectibles, but I will check it off all the same. And I guess I'll say that maps onto like the criteria, and I'll check that off. And the UI is finished ish. And that's all I wanted to do here. First, however, if I were to go back to the game controller object, the level metadata. Okay, so is there any function anywhere in the game? Okay, this is kind of a mess, this kind of sucks, but anytime that I'm trying to access the level metadata for anything, I am directly looking up gamecontroller.level types and then struct accessor string room name, and I don't really like that. I'm gonna write myself another helper method because I've been all over that apparently in this video. Self.get level metadata. It's gonna be a function. It's gonna take a room level, return self.level types, struct accessor string. Ooh. Okay, so it's not looked up by name. Yeah, it's just a string. I was prepared to erase that and change it, and then I realized that that would be dumb because hashing the actual level names would probably not be as useful as hashing like the level IDs. Room level, and then that's just going to be a somewhat nicer lookup. Than what we had before. All right. I'm gonna have to go and change this, or at least like shorten it. Game controller dot get level metadata. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to do this a bunch of times. Hang on. This is another one. This like enter level button is another one that I really could have generalized, and it probably would have saved me time, but it's already written, so I won't be changing it now. Alright, that's all been changed. Last minute edit to the last thing that I did, by the way. Yeah, we've got level 1 cannon fodder, and then it's replacing the colon with the colon in the level name with a line break, as it should. Last thing that I want to change is in the level clear data. Where was it? In the like the buttons for the level clear data. I will have, I think, just instead of having any of that other nonsense, I'll just say locked. And I think that will be less like confusing than having the level name sitting there and followed by whatever. Or like less cluttered anyway. Maybe not less confusing, but just less cluttered because there's less on the screen. If this UI system was fancier, I might make these an actual like padlock symbol instead, but this is not a fancy UI system, so we'll be going with it for now. Let's see. Get level metadata. Yeah, alright, that can just be one commit. Added a get level metadata method, which is sometimes useful. And I think one more thing before I go, and this is something that I've kind of been commenting on but forgetting to deal with frequently, is in the general gameplay UI, UI gameplay, this is just room get name. This really should be game controller.get level metadata current room, dot name. That might be a long text label. I might need to give it the same treatment as I gave the levels in here in the level select. And maybe move everything in the UI down and give this one a little more space. Is there any critical information? The bullets on screen text label isn't even working. How about I just get rid of that one and make this one bigger? This is high score. I think it's the one above that. Okay. This is arguably not even working correctly. I'm gonna move you way the heck out here. I'm gonna move everything else down. The number of bullets on screen is really, if I use it for anything, it could very well just be an internally tracked stat, and it doesn't even really need to be shown to the player. String, replace all. The string is going to be the name, the substring is going to be the colon followed by a space, and the new string is going to be just a line break. Should I wrap that in the L function, in the localized function? Probably, right? A generally good thing to do. All right, so we now have also the bullets on screen. Hang on. Instead of just moving this off screen and hoping it stays off screen, I'm not sure if I want to straight up delete it in case I do want to bring back this counter for any reason. But I'm pretty sure that there's really no point in doing that. Ooh. Okay, deleting it actually causes problems because it is indexed by the UI manager, and then we have a null reference. All right, I'll just delete it. It's only a few lines of code. If I want it back later for any reason, whatever. Again, generally a good idea to test your code before you commit it. All right, take that, mister. If I were to, for example, quit to title and upgrade my burn damage or something, I should now be able to burn enemies, right? With the special. Yay! Alright. So I said that I would figure out a third star criteria for clearing the level before the end of this video, but this is already almost 2 hours long, and I'm not looking forward to editing it. So I think I will cut it off here, and I will make that a problem for future me. Let's see. I will instead go to the backlog, decide on a third criteria for a star in a level. That shouldn't be hard. I also want to make sure the level names are localized everywhere. That should probably be also not hard, but a lot of busy work, really. Furthermore, I noticed a bug where when you restart a level, the pause game UI doesn't go away. That should only take a minute to fix, but that is indeed a bug that needs dealing with. And I think that's everything that I noticed. So I will leave that as it is. I think it is getting high time, like this backlog is starting to add up, so I think it is high time that I take care of some of them in the next video. And let's see. For example, let's move this one to board sprint 3. And also, let's move this one to... We'll do this one as well. There we go. All of the backlogged items except for the first 4 have been staged for next week's video. Unfortunately, I don't think progress will have really... I don't think the progress bar will really have advanced much in this video because I added as many tasks as I removed. But I wish that, and I wonder if I can make a feature request to the Hack and Plan people. I wish that the backlog was its own progress bar so that you could see that moving along as you move through development in a Hack and Plan board. But Next week we'll take care of some of these bugs. A lot of them I've mentioned on video. Some of them I haven't. Some of them I just noticed when I was testing off, like, on my own time. But I will get to each of them in turn next time. Other than that, if you want the code for this, look for the GitHub repository down in the video description. This is going to be week 32. So look for the 0.32 release, which I will be making right now. I have a Patreon, so if you want to contribute to the channel, I need to push to the origin. If you want to contribute to the channel, look for the links to that in all of the usual places. Otherwise, I hope you all found this interesting, and I hope you all have been enjoying watching this come together. It is definitely starting to look like a game now, and I will see you all later. I'm ending off on the screen as tradition. Although, for what it's worth, even though the Sprint 3 progress bar moved backwards, the Sprint 2 progress bar actually was finally completed because I have been putting off the last 2 UI tasks there for a little while. Special thanks to Army Armbuster, DJ Gibbles, Edward Holt, Game Maker, KeyXE, Sindra Larson, Squarecrow, The Oz, and Zenith for supporting these videos. If you want to support the channel, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.